there are about 65 million, maybe 70 million people in the United States who have felony jackets, who are not at the moment under direct control of the criminal system, who may or may not have ever been locked up. But they all have this fact, which makes them, as I like to put it, documented not to work. They are modestly educated people. If they could work, they would work making, moving, growing, and caring for things and other people. And they can't do it. And we add to them the whatever it is, 8 or 9 million people who are undocumented, who are adults of the whatever, 11 or 12 million undocumented people in the United States. So we add the adults of the undocumented to the 65 or 70 million of the documented not to work. And what we have is half of the workforce in the United States. Half of it. You'd think, given that objective reality, that we would be poised on the brink of a revolution, and we're not. Which then raises so many questions about the kind of organizing that should be going on today, organized through an abolitionist agenda, which seems to call for the abolition of racial capitalism, which would be all capitalism. And one of the myths that many people find compelling about the reason for mass incarceration is that since the 13th Amendment didn't outlaw slavery or involuntary servitude in the case of those duly convicted of crimes, that clearly mass incarceration must be slavery by another name. And what people who cling closely to that explanation to say this is why this is happening to black people, because slavery happened to black people, what they put out of their minds is that a third of all these millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people I'm talking about are white. So as my friend Darrell Scott, the historian, says, well, how do you account for how the loophole in the 13th Amendment enabled something to happen in this country that had never happened before, which was the enslavement of white people? What are you going to do about that in your political thinking? And although he asks the question rhetorically, I think there's something there to think about really hard and really well. And especially now that Donald Trump's been elected. Especially now that Donald Trump's been elected.